Hey, sorry that you can't be on campus, but I'm hoping that this video helps you see a little bit about our department and some of my favorite places within it. So here is our arena. It's where we're going to start out. And so you can see this is, it's our Rodeo Arena. Actually, my husband and I first met right over there. He was participating as a junior college student from Dodge City Community College in the K-State Rodeo, which is in February every year, and I was watching, and one of our mutual friends introduced us, and the rest is history. So I think it's just very cheesy that I now work in the building where I first met my husband. But one of my favorite places about, or one of my favorite reasons about the arena is that it's just right here. It's attached to where our offices are, it's attached to our classrooms. And so I use the arena for our undergraduate research symposium. And so in May of every year, we have this kind of the floor full of tables and scientific posters that students are presenting. But it's also obviously really nice for bringing livestock in and bringing animals in. And so if I'm teaching a lecture about feedlot cattle and how you can cause differences in rumen digestibility if you're feeding steam flake corn versus maybe some additional forages, that it's one thing to talk about that, but it's a whole nother thing to actually bring cannulated steers into the arena here and look at them and see that in person. And so we use this arena for a lot of our teaching classes and just really looking at and interacting with animals individually. And then the other cool part is that we're really close to our animals on campus. And so even if we're not able to bring or don't want to bring animals into this arena, we can go visit them on our farms. And so about 1.5 miles north of campus is where most of our research farms are. So we have our feedlot, we have our beef cattle, our purebred beef barn, we have a swine farm, we have poultry barns, horse barns, the dairy barn. All of those are located within just a couple of miles of campus. And so that allows me to be teaching a class on something like undergrad research. And we'll actually go out on Fridays. Students will get out of other classes at 12:30, and then we'll start, or they'll get out of other classes at 12:20 on Fridays, and we'll start class out at the meat goat, the sheep and meat goat center at that farm at about 12:45, and that gives students plenty of time to walk to their cars, take their vehicle or even their bus or even their bike and drive it out to where the farm is, and then we'll do whatever we need to do from an undergrad research side out there. So we'll feed the animals, we'll weigh them that week, maybe we'll collect some blood samples, and then they'll be able to drive back to campus, park, and go to their next class at 2:30. And so it's really, really cool that we have all of our animal units so close to campus. And really, it adds to the hands-on opportunities that we have here in the Department of Animal Sciences at K-State. So once we come out of the arena, and that was kind of the top floor of the arena, we have faculty offices, which are on that top floor. And then we also have just the staircase down to the bottom floor, or the main floor, which is where my office is. But before I do that, I'm going to take you a couple more places. So this is kind of the main atrium where students come in. We have a computer lab back there, and that's where a lot of students will print off things that they might need for class at different times because nobody seems to have a printer anymore. Then we have our student lounge. And so this is the Jack Riley Student Center. And it is one of my favorite places in the department. Hi, Judy. No, you're welcome. You're fine. I'm just giving a virtual tour. This is our wonderful sanitation staff. They're fantastic. So this is our Student Services Center and student lounge. Again, this is where a lot of students will first meet one another. And so we have it set up so that students can work in study groups and study sessions. There are individual little rooms that students can kind of rent out and work in. Or there's just kind of some nice places to gather, play some cards, relax between classes and work together. Once in a while, we'll find students taking naps over there. And so it's really just meant to be kind of a gathering place for our students. So again, another kind of printer area and some of the fantastic old books, and that this is kind of the library end that many were written by K-State faculty or are very historic in nature, lots of old theses and dissertations, and then again, kind of little areas and study nooks for students. So the reason that I love this area is that it's really what I call the living room of the department. I was an out-of-state student, and so I didn't know really anybody coming to campus, especially no students. And so I was a little nervous about making friends. And it's one thing to sit next to people in class, but you're not really talking in class. And so I didn't get to know them very well. But because we have the student lounge right here, between classes, I would just come down and study, and I'd find someone, and it's like, hey, you're in my nutrition class, right? Hey, did you understand what that crazy professor was talking about when they were talking about this concept? And so all of a sudden it became a really great place to kind of just hang out, study together. And like I said, it kind of became the family room or the living room of the department. And so it's important for us to have that kind of sense of family and sense of gathering for us. And so that's really what this student lounge does. So we can go out the other side of the student lounge, and down here is just right where we're now on the floor of the arena. So just to kind of orient yourself, we had gone out through that door up there, and now we're just on the floor of the arena. So really handy that the arena and the student lounge, student commons area are all there kind of close together. All right, then we'll walk out and go up about a half flight of stairs. And then we get to one of our main hallways where we have a lot of our classrooms. So behind me here is where the meats lab would be. And so we do have our real working meats lab and meat sale that would be located there, more offices that are kind of on either side of me. We have our larger classrooms that I think are all locked. Let me grab my keys. And open those doors, right? So this is one of our kind of lab-based classes and classrooms. It's nothing fancy, it's just what you would expect, kind of a typical classroom, but we have kind of these portable tables, and so we use this classroom a lot for just regular classes. I teach my undergrad research class in this classroom, and most of the time that's lecture-based, and then we're out at the units during our animal hands-on portion. But this class is also used for most of our labs. So like anatomy and physiology lab or repro lab, we can scoot these tables together, and I teach like a monogastric nutrition class, and we'll do comparative dissections. So we'll have students that are kind of in this corner working on dissecting a pig digestive tract, and then a chicken, and then a rabbit, and then a fetal horse, and a dog, and a cat. And so we'll have all those digestive tracts that are dissected and pulled out, and then we'll look at kind of comparative differences and compare and contrast different types of digestive tracts. And we do that here in this room because it's got a nice floor for it, good bench tables for it, and then a place to kind of clean up everything in the back with those big sinks. So this is one of our kind of main classrooms. Here's another of our main classrooms that we use a lot. This is Weber Hall 121. Let me open this one up. This is for some of our smaller classes. So you can see it's not the biggest classroom in the world. And that's actually on purpose. That way we don't have too many students. Our class sizes kind of stay small that way. And so yeah, this is one of our more commonly used classes or classrooms. And then I'll take you into the McKee Auditorium, or Weber 123. And this is our largest classroom. And so you can see behind me, it's a typical kind of lecture style classroom, large lecture hall. I never have this class all the way full. I tend to cap my class enrollment at about 140, 145, which is one of the larger classes that we have. That's my Principles of Nutrition class, which is really intended for sophomores. And so that's one of the larger classes that we have in this classroom. That means that there's students sitting about every second seat, every other seat in here. And then we have some demonstration models, like this is our lovely horse and our wonderful cow structure over here, so that as I'm talking about nutrition, I can actually refer to dentition and mouth structures And then we have some of our more famous things in the department, like this is Conoco. Conoco was selected as the grand champion steer at the 1969 International. Really famous livestock show, really famous steer, and Don Good from K-State was actually the judge while that was done, or at that show. And then we have just kind of another little chill out area for students outside the classroom. So we found a lot of students kind of sleeping on that couch or hanging out, getting ready, studying between classes and such. So that takes us down to my office, and we kind of have this nice little courtyard. This is a courtyard between all of the classrooms. So students can kind of hang out there, get a little bit of fresh air on a nice day. And then we have this hallway between kind of the arena and the computer lab that we're down at the end. And this is really our main teaching hallway. So this is where a lot of your teaching faculty, a lot of your advisors will be. This is my office. See, not stealing anyone else's office. This one's mine. And beware, my girls are in here, so who knows what shape my office might be in. All right, what are you guys watching? Are you watching High School Musical? No. So this is my office. You can see it's kind of a mess right now. Trash cans on the desk for some reason, but this is kind of my living room, and so very rarely do I see it like this where the door's closed. Almost all the time is my door's open unless I'm actively meeting with a student. We kind of have an open door policy in the department so that if a door's open, that means that students are welcome to come in, talk to us, ask questions if they have them, or just more importantly, interact with us as individuals. And so one of my favorite things is just having students stop by. You can see I have candy on my desk that my girls have eaten most of, and if they haven't, Dr. Dave Nichols, who's our teaching coordinator, would have eaten it. So it's kind of my way of luring in students just to come chat and say hi to me, and grabbing a snack between classes if they need to. So I hope that you enjoyed the tour of our department. Sorry that you can't see it in person, but we'd love you to come check it out, and please let me know if you have any questions. My contact information, let me grab a card so that you can see it. I'll blast it up for you. All right, my contact information is right here. So you can see it's a little fuzzy. My cell phone number is 785-477-3293. My email address is jonesc@ksu.edu. Feel free to send me an email, text me, or give me a phone call if you have any questions. I'm always happy to visit with prospective students, or certainly our current students or alums, about whatever we can do to help them. All right, take care. Thanks much.